All right, hey guys. The Panasonic G9 II has been out for a while now, and there's enough footage out there to show that it's clearly the better hybrid camera. Clearly the better hybrid camera. It has comparable and in some cases better photo capabilities. It doesn't have some of the known Olympus features, but that's fine. It has many of the features that I personally find useful. It has, and on top of that, it has way better video specs. That's not to say the OM-1's terrible. The OM-1 still beats it by being able to shoot 120 raw frames uh, continuously. It is slightly better in lower light. It does have a faster buffer. Granted, it's only able to clear the buffer faster because it does purposely limit your shots to be able to do this, and it's slightly smaller megapixels also help. The OM-1 also has better EVF, better battery life. The G9 II does take a little longer to turn on, which can potentially lead to missed shots, and most importantly, in photos, the OM-1 has better dynamic range. So what's on my wish list here for a OM system to add to the next OM flagship? Well, the OM-1 set the bar for speed. I would like the OM-1 Mark II or the OM-2 simply to improve on those specs. I don't really care for having a higher megapixel sensor. That'd be nice, but not really a requirement in my opinion. The OM-1 can do 120 frames raw. I'd like to see the OM-2 push that to include continuous autofocus. I know so many users don't need 120 frames per second, but here's the thing. There was a point when a lot of users didn't need 10 frames per second, 20 frames per second, 30 frames per second. Those are used every day now by a lot of sports and wildlife users. This can be especially true for sports photographers, especially since sports like tennis and someone that shoots something that's precise and small, or like a small target like baseball or hell, even archery. To be able to capture everything in between the gap of the throw and the shot is something that's, in my opinion, pretty magical. 120 frames per second would help that out. Someone like me who isn't really very good at sports photography, it would be beneficial. I'd love there to be an option to control the frame rates as well by the number of frames. So if someone wants to shoot 49 frames instead of 120 or something like that, they could do that. That'd be really cool to have. For the custom AI features like live comp, live bulb, live ND, high megapixel mode, I just want them to process those faster. And to be able to process faster, the camera's going to need faster cards. So I'd love for them to implement the CF Express Type A cards, preferably the dual card slot thing that Sony does. That would be amazing to see. I'd consider it's considered a flagship camera, so I can't understand why it wouldn't have the option to have the fastest media cards available. That's the weird thing to me about the G9 II and the OM-1 is the fact that they're still just using SD cards. It's something that's considered a flagship. The FX30 at a similar price point, actually sometimes cheaper, use the dual style slots that Sony's implementing now in a lot of their cameras. The Fuji X-H2 is another camera with body similar size as the OM-1 and G9 II. It has an SD card slot and a CF Express Type B, so an even better and faster media card for something that's actually less than the OM-1. Hell, one great idea would actually be to have a different kind of battery grip instead of just a battery grip. Fit in an extra processor. I think the next battery grip should have a built-in battery type. I know this is going to sound silly, but built-in batteries take up significantly less room than removable batteries. And with a built-in battery, you can actually fit in the extra processor and media slot and even vent for all the added heat. The last thing I'd love to see is something that's a little more important for me, someone like me, is better video features. The G9 II has nearly every option available that's on the GH6. I want to see that level of feature sets on the OM-1, OM-2. For the people that complain about the video features, just don't use it. Clearly, you're not making money shooting video, but I do, and I want to support OM systems. I can continue to support OM systems without the feature sets I need. This is why I sold the OM-1. I wouldn't have had to if it already had it. Some honorable mentions are for them to update the autofocus algorithm, add human detect autofocus to their AI listings, and let the camera shoot any number of frame rates with continuous autofocus with any lens like the G9 II. Yeah, some lenses will still miss, but That's up to me, the shooter, to set up the camera and learn the camera lens combination that's optimal for my shooting style. The other thing that I don't understand is too is the fact that the Panasonic has had a stop go motion feature ever since the GH3, and it's never had that in any of the Olympus. That's a feature. That's a pretty basic feature. I feel like just because it just shows a shadow of where the previous shot was. That's so easy to implement on for Olympus, and I've gotten jobs where they ask if I could do it, and yeah, I could easily do it the old school way, and even get the program that you can get on the computer to show the previous frame. But I don't want to do that. Call me lazy, but it's too time consuming for someone like me, especially when I have to do other jobs. But yeah, that'd be great to have it built in, but it is in every Panasonic, as far as I know. Yeah, so that's basically all I really need for the next OM-2. I like the body enough. Actually, I would actually prefer it to be closer to the EM1 Mark II, but that's, there's just enough of there's enough of a size difference, in my opinion, between the EM1s and the OM1s to be uncomfortable. But again, that's probably just because I've been using the EM1 Mark II for almost a decade at this point. That's pretty much the main reason. It's hard to leave it. None of the new cameras that are coming out give me enough of a reason to move up. Even the G9 II, as tempting as it is just, I just can't see myself selling the M1 Mark II for it. Not for photography or anything. If anything, I'd probably pick up a GH6 before a G9 II. The EM1 satisfies all of my photographic needs at the moment. My FX3 is stationed as my work-specific camera. I literally only take it out for work. Other than that, I'm pretty much not brave enough to carry it around. I'm not made of money, and insurance covers things, but it takes too much time to get things going, and I need to work. So it stays out of the way until it's needed. This is why the GH6 to me is kind of appealing. I'm seeing people dump those cameras for nothing, even more now since the G9 II has come out. I've been looking at Blackmagic, Z-cams, but at this point the GH6 is so feature rich for the price that it's silly not to get the camera over the other two filmmaking specific MFT cameras. That would definitely be my personal filmmaking camera. That's really it. Thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate the time you guys spend here. I just reached the 1,000 subs thing, and I want to thank you all for simply tuning in and interacting and just being awesome. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day. First video on the GH6. GH6. Is that autofocus? Is that pretty good? Ooh. I don't see no complaint, man. That shit goes all right. All right. You just need it for these little things. Oh, some rum. Oof. Okay. Let's get the show on the road. You know what I'm saying? Jiminy Willikers.